Oh my. Those bejeweled sprinkles have satisfied some unknown hunger within you. Shh. Do you smell that? That's the sugary scent of shopping success. For this is Goodwill. And with every item you buy, you fund local job training and more. So go forth. Bring home those donut earrings. And bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
And welcome, everybody, to Logic Nation, April 22nd, 2020. Matt, your host here. It's another fine, beautiful morning, and the room is full once again. I've got the Colonel Rayford Brown. I got Bill Huffman with me here, the EP.
Buenos días, America.
Good to see you, buddy. I like the beard thing,
¿Cree que sí?
the goatee.
Yeah?
It's good. I tried doing that, but I can't get it full. I get stripes. I start looking like, I think his name was Spike on Gremlins. Was that his
You
name?
need that sangre latino. That's the problem. You white boys, you can't grow it.
And I have my special guest here, Nick Pearson, originally from the UK. Is that correct, Nick?
Correct.
Good morning to you, sir. Thank you for coming on in.
Thank you for having me.
This is going to be a great conversation. I've got Nick in here because a lot of things go on in England that I'm checking out, and he's a shooter as well. He comes to the shop. We have great conversations. It's nice to see contrasts in how two different countries do things different ways, specifically when it comes to Second Amendment. So we'll be talking about that. And so get ready to interact and interject some questions that you might have. Let me give you an idea of what's coming up on the show today. Got a lot of different topics, things that I'd like to hear from you as well. So give me a call, 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. Don't forget social media at Facebook, YouTube, and Vimeo at Logic Nation Radio, Twitter, and Periscope at Logic Nation USA. Here's what we got. If you're a faithful listener, of course you know we're going to be doing devotional, quotes, and announcements. I'll be doing some true stories. Reason being is, specifically, I don't do true stories all the time, but today I definitely want to do it because I've got Nick here, and it has to do with guns, and it's just be interesting to see when it comes to what people do for self-defense in one country as to what they can do in another. Would that be a good way to say it, Nick?
That's a very good way to put it.
You'll be very surprised. Biden says he would pick Michelle Obama to be VP. I said this yesterday and the day before, and I've been saying it for months. I wanted to talk about that again because he's definitely saying a woman of color, even on the Supreme Court. Okay, if the position came available, he'd put somebody on the Supreme Court.
And you know that's what's important. You know,
If
you're picking a vice president, you're picking a senator, you're picking the new queen. I think that we need to worry about this person's plumbing. We need to worry about what color their skin is. We need to worry about what their surname is. You know, if you could find a bisexual Puerto Rican black woman, she should be the president of the United States just because. What else could be important? I mean, do you actually have to have a thought process or God forbid, a track record of leadership or intelligent design?
It really has become a farce in the way people are being pressured and forced into it because of political correctness. It really
Identity
is disgusting.
politics. That's all it is.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the coronavirus conversation is still strong. People are still fearful and worried. I'll tell you, I've gotten to the point where I don't trust anybody anymore. I really don't. We've got the experts tell us these numbers and show us these graphs on a daily basis. They show us the low potential and the high potential, and we haven't even hit the low potential yet. We haven't even hit the numbers of 2016 influenza flu. We didn't shut down a country. This is baloney. This is craziness. Y'all need to go on out and just go to work. Now, I'm not saying you're not doing it on purpose. I'm just saying we all need to go out and just live our lives and be sensible. I put a post on my Facebook page. Get ready, get prepped. Small businesses, get your stock ready. Customers, get yourself ready to go out. Workers, get yourself ready to go out. And let's get back to business. Stay 6 feet away from everybody. They're marking the floors. Look, I had to go to Walmart and I had to go to Academy last week, and they've got these markers on the floor, 6 feet apart. So just follow the markers, stay 6 feet apart, wear a bandana like I'm doing if you're that worried about it. I'm just doing it because I'm going to be putting it on my head later. But if you're worried about it, wear a bandana, wear a mask. Don't breathe on people. Don't cough on people. If you're older with underlying conditions, stay away from everybody. And we'll stay away from you. Don't have to quarantine the whole freaking planet. Bill Huffman yesterday was hot on this one. He picked it up real quick. Hot mic at coronavirus press briefing. It's all Corona theater, everybody. That's your host's opinion, okay? I believe coronavirus is a major political theater event. Don't get me wrong. There's a virus out there, and you need to be careful. But to the extent that they're doing it now, I believe it's total bullshit. SCHIFF. Senate approves $484 billion coronavirus package. Who's going to pay for that one? Expert says U.S. on verge of mass civil unrest. And based on the conversation that the Colonel and I had here a little while ago, it could potentially be true. 2 UK men arrested for posting a sign that read, "Pub closed, border open." What's up with that? Maybe our special guest here can help us what goes on with the police and the political thought process when it comes to the United Kingdom. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you hear me speaking words of patriotism, words of disbelief on how people can be thinking certain things in the political realm. And I have Don Lemon here on CNN who goes, "What are you people thinking?" It's totally the opposite. But I look at Don Lemon and I say, Don Lemon, you're pushing an agenda of false realities. I'm pushing an agenda of Constitution and Bill of Rights. Who's going to win on that one?
Well, I'm afraid reality has to take a little, but just because you say gravity doesn't work doesn't mean it doesn't work.
You can argue it all you want. That's
right.
An excellent point, Colonel.
All right, I got a caller on the line. I've got about a minute here, so let me get Uncle Mike on the line. Uncle Mark, see what he's got to say. Uncle Mark, thanks for listening. Thanks for calling. What's on your mind, buddy?
Hey, Matt, I want to talk about the religious things, about what's going on. We're all being punished by God because of our indiscretions and abominations. The abominations to God is clearly printed in Ezekiel chapter 7. Everybody look it up and go. I heard it on the Shepherd's Chapel.
Uncle Mark, I got to ask you a question. Hear me
Sure,
out,
no.
and you'll understand why I'm asking this. Let's say there was a massive plague on this planet, okay?
Okay, there's a massive plague on this planet.
There is? Is coronavirus a massive plague?
No, it's not.
Okay, so using that, saying...
The locusts in the Middle East are.
Okay, you give me something like that that's biblical, okay, but when you get a man-made virus that is being promoted politically, which I believe, how can that be a condemnation from God? I think it's a condemnation of the public saying we're too stupid to figure it out.
The people that are pushing it don't follow God.
I'm sorry,
Thank
Uncle
you.
Mark, go ahead.
You know, you got to go through a whole bunch of... I wish you would have been there.
Did I throw you off on that one?
The other subject is this pandemic. Is it a pandemic? I mean, like you just downplaying it. It's very contagious, but is it? And what happened when AIDS was out in the 1980s? Do you think God was punishing everybody back then, trying to tell them don't be doing homosexual abominations to God?
I'm just saying, all I can say right now is that all the information that comes out coronavirus seems to be lies. I cannot trust anything that comes out of these people's mouths anymore.
Right. I can agree on that.
All right, Uncle Mark, I got to take a break. Appreciate the call, buddy. Thanks.
I'll get back with you in a little while.
Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures. If you've decided to carry a handgun for self-defense, you better know what you're doing. If you don't, you better learn fast. Not only fast, but thoroughly. Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures fills the void between a Johnny wannabe and a person who has been properly trained in the proper handling and use of a firearm. Call me, Matt Petros, at 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com and set up a class or seminar to get you started on the road to proficiency with a firearm for self-defense. Go to our website, aaronsgunshop.com, and review the High Cap Adventures page. We have seminars to cover most forms of firearms training. Call 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com to get more information on how to get started with your training. The time for games is over. Reality starts now. aaronsgunshop.com.
Divorce attorney Ed Laughlin. Is your marriage on the rocks? Have you been wanting to get a divorce but just haven't found an attorney that you can afford? Well, your search for an affordable attorney is finally over. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and I've been helping Texans get fast, inexpensive, hassle-free divorces for 25 years. I offer reasonable fees and always allow my clients to pay out their fees in payments that they can afford. Call me today at 773-8399 or toll-free 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment to get started. The first visit is always free.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed Laughlin today at 1-800-492-2589 or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589 or online at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589. Let Ed help you with all your legal needs. You'll feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad in Names and Numbers.
Some knowledge belongs to us and us alone. The way our girlfriends walk, the way they talk, the way they touch their hair. We hold details that only a sister can know about her girls. But what about our other girls? The ones that we carry with us every day. Can we describe them when everything's right? Can we feel when something's wrong? Our bond with our sister girls gives life. But knowing your breasts can save it. Go to knowyourgirls.org for the facts you need on breast health. That's knowyourgirls.org. Brought to you by Susan G. Coleman and the Ad Council.
Hi, everybody. You been missing me so far? Okay.
You know what they say? If you don't start early in the morning, you can't say you've been drinking all day. Welcome back, America.
Welcome back. I don't think they've ever been on.
Not since commercial.
No, okay. Well, I guess the devotional went out the window, didn't it?
Oh, you almost. I love. Hey, puff, pass. Good Lord, where are your manners?
All right, so we were talking about, I can feel my face. It's like all red. I can feel it. All right, we were talking about the president saying no.
It was only one button.
No, it was actually two buttons.
It was two buttons, Colonel. If it was one button, we'd have had a shot at it.
Colonel, help me out here. We were talking about President Trump, and what was he saying?
Immigration.
Immigration.
And the impact on the labor force and the fact we're trying to protect American workers. And if we have almost 50% of the population that's on welfare and doesn't want to work. And this is an issue of whether or not closing the borders is going to help this group of people. The workers that want to work can work, and there are no borders that can protect you from ignorance. And my example on that one was, if all you know how to do is tighten the lug nuts on the assembly line, that job will eventually go to the lowest bidder. You have to develop an education and skills that make you worth a lot. Increase your productivity by increasing your skills, mental or physical.
By the same token, sir, we need to find a balance there. Part of the reason that a new automobile costs $50,000 is because we're paying the guy on the assembly line $40 an hour to tighten the lug nuts.
Well, it's the cost of a new car from General Motors. More of it goes to their pension fund to cover the medical expenses of retired members than goes to the cost of the car.
That's because the expenses that they cover for their members. For the IBEW, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, they all their medications are covered. Guess what the number one medical expense is for IBEW members and retirees? It's, Doc, I need a little help. There's no fire in the rocket anymore. So Viagra, number one medicine that they buy.
Wow.
So their brains may not work, but...
well, that's uplifting to hear, man. Okay. Now, the immigration ban exempts refugees and essential workers. And what we're talking about is this. Ladies and gentlemen, I read a report before, and I believe it was from Massey, Representative Massey, was talking about how there's produce in the fields not being able to be harvested. It's going to go to the trash. Colonel, you were telling me stories about hogs being killed, chickens. And
there was a lady talking the other day on Rush about 20,000 hogs being slaughtered because they got new piglets coming in, and they've got to have space for them. And when they reach market age and size, they don't have any place to store them. They've got to move them, and so they're taking them out and pushing them in euthanizing them and putting them in pits. And also, on Facebook yesterday, I saw a picture up here local to Troy, Texas, well, the picture was posted on their Facebook page of 5 semis of milk being dumped in a field because they can't get it processed out to the people.
Okay, so we have, because of coronavirus, we've got people not working the fields because they're working so closely together, they cancels it out where they can't pick crops from the field. And then there's people who, in the country, American citizens, who are jobless but are getting a check, like you're saying, a welfare check to some degree of some sort, however you want to call it. And they're not willing, most likely, and they can't be trained quickly enough because the harvest will be lost in, about 3 weeks or so? Based on my quick reading from what I see, if we got farmers out there, talk to me. Give me a call. Let me know. But here's the bottom line. Americans aren't going to do it. And so Trump, when he does this immigration ban and exempts refugees and people start throwing a fit saying, oh, he says it's just rhetoric what he's saying, you got to think about it a little bit. Who the heck's going to get this produce and the product to the stores? Because if the Americans don't do it and we don't let the the essential workers who come in from another country do it, it's just going to sit there and rot. So when you go to buy produce on the HEB store aisle, it's not going to be there. Give me a call, 866-89-LOGIC.
DWI and criminal defense attorney Ed Laughlin.
Just because you or a loved one has been pulled over or arrested for DWI does not mean you're guilty of DWI. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and to be arrested and charged with DWI, the officer has to only have probable cause that you're intoxicated. It's only the officer's opinion. However, to be convicted of DWI, your guilt must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a much stricter burden. If you have been arrested for DWI or any other offense and want an attorney who will rigorously defend you, call me at 1-800-492-2589 or log on to my website at edlaughlin.com. Over the past 25 years, as an attorney, I've been both a prosecutor and now a defense attorney. You need an experienced attorney who will work hard to get you the justice that you deserve.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed now at 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. First visit is always free. You're going to feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad and names and numbers.
One in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain, sleet, and mud. In 95, I helped tow your moving trailer. In 05, I helped you get out of a ditch. Yeah, I know I'm a bit rusty, and sadly in 09, it was sparks from me, your handy chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Sparks from dragging chains can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation. Matt, your host here. You'll be happy to know we've hired an 8-year-old child to run the board. Okay.
Because apparently I wasn't getting it done. Acting like an 8-year-old child does not automatically grant that level of aptitude.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the mics weren't on at the second break, and
and it's too bad we were freaking awesome.
We had a great devotional. So if you want to hear the devotional, you'll have to hear the replay at 11:05. It'll start, and so take it there accordingly, and you get to hear it because it's all recorded. It just didn't go over the air. But now, since we have the 8-year-old child employed with us to run the board, we shouldn't have any further problems. But give me a call, 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. Stream us live at logicnation.us. Don't forget the social media at Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo at Logic Nation Radio, Twitter and Periscope at Logic Nation USA. And tell us what's on your mind. Got a lot of topics on the table. I'll tell you what, I've got a little parody here. If y'all like the Beatles, you know Dr. Roberts, the song Dr. Roberts. Well, we've got a song here by David Leon, and it's called Dr. Fauci. And I'm going to play a little bit of it because it's going to lead me into the other things that I want to talk about when it comes to coronavirus and the curve and everything else that goes with it. So here we go.
Ring, my friend, I know you'll call Dr. Fauci. The only man we can trust right now is Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci. He's a really brilliant man. He'll help you to understand. You gotta wash your hands, says Dr. Fauci. He studied MERS and he studied SARS, Dr. Fauci. A ton of brains in a fun-sized bar, that's Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci. He's the man you must believe, helping you in time of need. We all just might succeed with Dr. Fauci.
So there you go. Parody of Dr. Roberts, Dr. Fauci. I thought it was always Fauci, but it's Fauci, I guess. Now, I need you guys' commentary because I seem to be going off the rails in the sense of I don't believe any of this stuff anymore. I believe there is coronavirus. Don't get me wrong. Don't misunderstand me. I believe it is necessary to wash your hands, keep your distance, wear a mask if necessary. I understand all that, and I agree with it. But to the point of where we've got to do what they continue to say, Colonel, didn't you tell me Bell County is going to stay locked down till when?
The middle of May.
And that
They're
comes from
looking at
who?
the graph, and they think it's going to peak and start down the statewide requirement. And that Judge Blackburn has said that the state has taken away his power to do this, so he's at the mercy of the governor. And it looks like now they're talking the middle of May, 3 more weeks.
I cannot see how this is working. I know people who are in peril due to financial straits. I don't know how people can do this. And when you look at the numbers, and you see what the curves were from the doctors, and then the reality of it comes out, and then we have the hoax from the president's briefing room with John Roberts from Fox News, I think it is, saying, yeah, it's all a hoax. It's not, he didn't say it's all a hoax, but he was reading out the number and somebody calls out and asks, is it a hoax? And he goes, well, I don't know, man. It kind of looks that way. We're freaking out over numbers that don't exist. So, I mean, what do you think? Where do you go? What do you believe? Guys, conversation?
There is a virus, but the result of the virus is not nearly as bad as the cure. And if we stay locked down 3 more weeks, even here in Bell County, we're going to start. People are out of money. We still have food in the stores. We don't have any more electronics. They were all purchased with the stimulus money that was given to people that already
Explain that. That's quite irritating, to be honest with you.
The people that are on welfare are still getting their checks, and there was no breakdown in that. So this stimulus showed up as a bonus, if you will, a sudden influx of money. And there are pictures on the internet, you can find it, of just lines of carts getting big screen TVs and things where the people that are working for a living and supporting all of this are struggling and to use the stimulus money to buy food and pay their rent, mortgages. So there's a big inequality here. It's just one of the unintended consequences of when our government tries to fix a problem it has no business working on.
So we're trying to fix a problem that they shouldn't be fixing. If they didn't do anything, where would we be?
But dude, that $1,000 check, I got a 147-inch trilateral curved screen surround sound 3D television. I don't ever need to think again.
Heaven forbid that we should try to save a little money for the next time. But the situation in the future, this money is being borrowed. It is not printed is the same as borrowed. It's just that you pay it back by inflation when they print it. And it will come because there's not going to be any product out there to buy, and everybody's going to have all this money sitting around.
Okay, we are all in the process of whining. Okay, the whining is over. When we come back from the break, I want to start hearing what we can do to solve this problem. We got lockdowns, and people are getting upset. Some people are getting upset with people doing lockdown protests. I'm all for it. I want to hear your comments, your thoughts. Let's stop whining. Let's come up with solutions, figure out what we can do, and get over this darn thing. Be back in 3 minutes.
Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop auto shop, family-owned and operated at 1402 North 3rd Street in Temple. Why go to another dealer? Quick Wrench Automotive, a full-service preventive maintenance and automotive repair center, offers a 2-year, 24,000-mile warranty on most repairs nationwide, which also includes complimentary roadside assistance. Quick Wrench also offers the best price for oil changes around at $17.95 plus tax, which includes 5 quarts of oil, new oil filter, washer fluid, and complimentary 23-point inspection. Other great deals are available on our Facebook page as well as our website, quickwrenchautomotive.com. Give us a call Monday through Friday at 254-935-2145 to speak with an ASE-certified technician. Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop shop for all your automotive needs.
Here at the Logic Nation, we often encourage you to be logical. Now, I've got 2 more great words to live by. Get supplied. With Studio L as a center point, Smith Supply will provide you with everything to clean anything and deliver it on time within 150 miles. That means we can deliver cleaning supplies to any facility, any business, including hotels and motels, even industries and factories, anywhere in the Killeen, Temple, Fort Hood Metro, Waco, and Austin. No matter where you are, we can ship to your order. We also provide janitorial services and building maintenance in some areas, and our Temple showroom and our online catalog are open to the public. We're here to save you money and get your supplies to you on time, every time. So, get supplied. Since 1961, we're Smith Supply, 254-773-3592, and online at smithsupply.com.
Art Coons, the owner of A&C Firearms in Heidenhammer, Texas, is an avid gun enthusiast and enjoys helping all of his customers to find the gun that's perfect for them. With a large selection of pistols, rifles, and shotguns, finding the right gun becomes easy. Go to A&C Firearms, located at 5819 U.S. Highway 190 in Heidenhammer, or call them 254-983-4417. Pistols, rifles, shotguns, ammo, knives, and a whole lot more. A&C Firearms, 254-983-4417.
Bankruptcy attorney Ed Laughlin.
I really hate to see families suffer, especially when there's something they can do. If you have too many bills to pay, the truth is that filing bankruptcy may be the best thing you ever do. I'm not just saying it, let me prove it to you. That's why I offer a free initial consultation. Call me, because you shouldn't just have to sit there and worry.
Call 1-800-492-2589. The phone call is free, and so is the appointment. You're going to feel a whole lot better.
And welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation, April 22nd, 2020. Matt, your host here. I've got Bill Huffman with me, Rayford Brown, Nick from the UK. Nick is going to give us all sorts of good insight and information from how it's different there compared to here and why it's better here than it is there. I got Uncle Mark on the line. Let me get Uncle Mark on the line real quick here. and see what he's got to say. All right, Uncle Mark, we got you back, buddy. You're on the air.
He's Nick from UK. Did he grow up with the Beatles? Nick?
I sure did. My mum used to play all the Beatles vinyl to me and my sister. So Beatles albums are ingrained into my soul.
Who's your favorite Beatle, Nick?
John.
John. Okay. All right.
John
What's your topic there, Uncle Mark?
It's the this shutting down bullshit, and the judges and the mayors and these idiots need to get the hell out of the picture and lift this. And the governor holding down mayors like Waco. That one idiot on Common Sense with Con, the mayor up in Waco, was cutting down Cabela's for fishing equipment. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't.
Common Sense with Con had it on Saturday. They fined the company and fined the guy who was buying the fishing rod and reel. Is that really over ridiculous?
It was one of them fishing terrorists, huh?
Well, I'll tell you what.
The guys want to go out and have peacetime on the lakeside. You can't fish. What kind of mayor is that? These guys are so pinhead dummy. You know what PhDs stand? Pinhead dummy, PhDs. There's a lot of them. They're brainwashed from hell by Satan and all their crew and their demons.
All right, Uncle
They're
Mark.
changing our schools. I'm sorry, man, but this
I understand your frustration. I appreciate it. We're going to talk about it, so just
all right.
stand by. Okay, guys, we've got Uncle Mark. Listen to this. Experts say U.S. is on the brink of a mass civil unrest. An expert with the United States Studies Center says that America is on the brink of a mass civil unrest that threatens to emerge out of anti-lockdown protests now taking place nationwide. Demonstrations against the coronavirus stay-at-home measures have exploded across the country over the last week after President Trump encouraged them on social media, whatever. The National Guard...
See, I knew it. There's like secret messages that President Trump puts out. Like when he says, good afternoon, that means go out there and kill Democrats.
There is... let's see here. They're basically saying because due to the lockdown, people are running out of money. They're getting frustrated staying inside. And if we're not careful and if we don't break free from this lockdown, people are going to start rising up and saying, hey, this isn't good. We don't like it. And there's going to be civil unrest. Do you believe that could be the case, gentlemen?
I think anytime you push the American people hard enough, we're going to throw your damn tea in the harbor. That's what I think.
That's a good analogy. No disrespect to you.
No disrespect to our British brother.
That's funny.
Yeah, because
this may put a damper on our conversation here, having a member of the Crown here.
Yeah.
Take it.
We're going to find out he's made out of tough stuff, and you know we're trying to show him a little respect once in a while.
Thank you.
It's almost amazing. Magic. As soon as I started playing that, our guests jumped to attention. Confetti started falling out of the damn ceiling. This guy's got some swag. I need to show a little more respect.
Ladies and gentlemen, give me a call, 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442.
What, you hurting for an adult conversation all of a sudden?
No, I want to get, we got a serious issue here. The president, people are getting fired up that the president was going to say no more immigration coming in, but he gives these caveats of, well, we're going to let these essential workers come in, and people are throwing a fit. And I'm saying, what do you want the man to do?
This is too easy. Go to your nearest farm, take a picture of yourself standing there with the farmer as he agrees to hire to pay you $5 an hour to pick oranges. Get it, buddy. We need that fruit picked. We need the chickens processed.
Do you think the American people are going to do that?
Hell no.
So then we need essential workers to work the fields.
I just think that we're really comfortable if we can complain about something without getting up off our couch.
We're not getting answers here. The question is it necessary to have essential workers be a caveat in what the president said, no immigration? Yes or no?
Well, it depends. Did you want to eat? Did you want to have the world taken care of like it was 60 days ago? Because it wasn't you doing it. This is called give me liberty or honey, bring me another beer and change channels, would you?
All right, we'll be back in 3 minutes. See you on the other side.
You were strolling along in goodwill when just past that mid-century side table and denim jacket you spotted them, nestled in their display case. Miniature donut earrings. Oh, yes! Yes! Your favorite half-breakfast pastry, half-all-day dessert food, made into your favorite form of ear candy. Oh my. Those bejeweled sprinkles have satisfied some unknown hunger within you. Shh, do you smell that? That's the sugary scent of shopping success. For this is Goodwill. And with every item you buy, you fund local job training and more. So go forth. Bring home those donut earrings. And bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation, April 22nd, 2020. I want to read this article real quick. While President Trump's immigration ban was celebrated by many of his supporters, it has since emerged that the draft executive order contains a broad exemptions for refugees, essential workers, and a number of other categories of people. In light of the attack from the invisible enemy, as well as the need to protect the jobs of the great American citizens, I will be signing an executive order to temporarily suspend immigration into the United States, Trump tweeted last night. The news was greeted with a massive amount of enthusiasm from Trump's base, some of whom feel he hasn't done enough to fulfill his campaign promise on building the wall to keep out illegal immigrants. However, it has now been revealed that there are a number of caveats. Bloomberg News reports that the EOs include exceptions for people seeking jobs in food production and directly helping to protect the supply chain, which could apply to farm workers. Refugees and asylum seekers will continue to be allowed to enter the United States, along with spouses of children of U.S. citizens or permanent residents. Exemptions also apply for people considered essential workers, as well as any alien whose entry will be in the national interest. The draft executive order doesn't have a start date but will expire 90 days after being implemented. Now, with over 22 million Americans out of work, and polls show shifting dramatically in support for strict travel bans, restricting immigration has never been an easier sell, comments Chris Manahan. While Trump's rhetoric was nice, if these massive caveats remain, then the rhetoric is all that we get. That's my problem. If you've got produce on the vine and the American citizen is not willing to take the $5 an hour to go pick it because they're out of a job, and they're going to need a certain amount of training to get the job done, and the amount of time to get it organized, to get them to do what they have to do to get the product to the supermarket, it's going to be too late. You've got people there who are already prepared and have done it year after year after year. We never stopped them before. And we have essential people that are necessary to come in here, and people are giving Trump hassles here too. I want to know what your thoughts are. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Whatever. I got Old Dog on the line. Let me get him on here real quick. It's always a pleasure. Old Dog, thanks for calling. What's on your mind, buddy?
It's always real quick with me, isn't it?
Doesn't have to be. You can continue on. Go ahead.
I spent my stimulus check already.
On what?
I sent some of it, half of it to my daughter. She needs it. And I went to ANC, and they tried to sell me an AR-14, but I wouldn't take that puppy. So I did buy a little Airweight 38 Special S&W.
Well, that's great. Supporting the sponsors and support the program. Thank you, sir.
Hell yeah. And as far as these people, our Americans, they're too good to work, to pick, say, tomatoes, whatever, then they don't need to be drawing a welfare check.
I don't know about you, Old Dog, but I have never been out of work. And if I was out of work within a matter of a week, I'd be in work. It may not have been the job I wanted, but it carried me over until I got the one I did want. You just got to hustle and get it done. So if these people want to sit there and not do anything and there's an opportunity, but the other problem is the amount of time it takes to get these people up to speed on how to do it. There is a little bit of a training curve when it comes to picking all this stuff and getting it into the stores. So that's why I'm thinking, what's the big hassle with the essential workers coming in to harvest the foods? Why are people getting upset about that?
I don't know. I can't answer that one.
Well, if you can't answer, then we're just destined for a catastrophe. I was hoping that you, Old Dog, would give me a revelation.
I can't give you a revelation about that, but I've got a gut feeling after seeing some of these reports that this virus has been around for a little bit earlier than we thought.
The virus has been, yeah, well, heck yeah, I'm sure it has. And the only reason it's a big deal now is because we've tested millions of people. They're saying by the end of April, it should be like 5 million people. Have we ever done that before? I'm sure influenza had the same amount of people. We just never tested for it, nor did we shut down a country.
Nope, we didn't even do it for polio.
We need to open her up. So I highly support the anti-lockdown people at this point. The curves are not matching the reality of the situation, and I just can't seem to trust the numbers. Look, we're coming up to a top of the hour break. I got callers on the line, but you're going to have to wait till the top of the hour break's over.
Let me tell you one thing. There is a party going on tomorrow night, biker party.
Where at?
I'm not telling you.
Okay. You just have to find All right, everybody. Old Dog, I appreciate your call, man. Stay safe, all right?
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, give me a call. It'll be top of the hour, about 5 or 6 minutes, and it's 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. See you on the other side.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work. Sorry, I'm late. Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working.
Who, me?
Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi. Oh, hey.
Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education
And to finish what I started to get my diploma.
Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Since you gotta go, you better go now. Go now, before you see me cry. I want you to tell me just what you intend to do now. 'Cause how many times do I have to tell it, darling, darling, I'm still in love with you now. I don't wanna see you go, but darling, you better go now. Ever since I was a young boy, I played the silver ball. From Soho down to Brighton, I must have played them all. But I ain't seen nothing like him in any amusement hall. That deaf, dumb, blind kid sure plays a mean pinball. He stands like a statue, becomes more than the machine. Feeling all the bumpers, always playing clean. Plays by intuition, the digit counters ball. That deaf, dumb, blind kid sure plays a mean pinball. He's a pinball wizard, it has to be a twist. Pinball wizard's got such a supple wrist. How do you think he does? I don't know. Makes him so good. Ain't got no distractions, can't hear no buzzes and bells. Don't see no lights flashing, plays by sense of smell. Always gets a replay, never seen him fall. That deaf, dumb, blind kid sure plays a mean pinball. Somebody take me. I just handed my pinball crown to him.
our girlfriends walk, the way they talk, the way they touch their hair. We hold details that only a sister can know about her girls. But what about our other girls? The ones that we carry with us every day. Can we describe them when everything's right? Can we feel when something's wrong? Our bond with our sister girls gives life. But knowing your breasts can save it. Go to knowyourgirls.org for the facts you need on breast health. That's knowyourgirls.org. Brought to you by Susan G. Coleman and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation. Matt, your host here. It's April 22nd, 2020. If you want to be on the show, give me a call, 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. Got people on the line. Please stand by. Bill, you got something you want to...
Yeah, we just had a headline flash across my computer. You've seen the news bites the last day or two about Iranian gunships jacking with our Navy, harassing the boats, and harassing our ships. And strangely, President Trump doesn't seem like he's going to take that crap. We all remember that we had a small boat pull up next to the Cole and kill a lot of our good sailors and put one of our ships out of commission. Trump has instructed the Navy to shoot down Iranian gunships if they harass our ships.
Fantastic.
So
I love it.
You don't need permission to engage, Captain.
Sounds great. Okay, I've got Marcus on the line here. Let me get Marcus on the line, and then we're going to get to our special guest, Nick Pearson. It's going to be a nice, interesting conversation to see the contrast about how blessed we are here in our freedoms and a lot of the restrictive rights that they have over there. So let me get Marcus on the line first. Marcus, it's always a pleasure. Thanks for calling. What's on your mind, buddy?
Hey, boss, how you doing today?
I'm doing okay, man. A little rough around the edges today, but we're doing all right.
All right. Hey, I wanted to talk to you about the illegals working in our food production facilities and stuff like that.
Okay,
right?
Go ahead. Talk to me.
Well, I think there's a huge misconception about that, right? You know, for a long time, the norm in those facilities, whether it be chicken slaughtering or goods production or beef or whatever it is, has been run mostly to the H-1 visa program, right? And they hire people from all over the world. They hire Filipinos, Sri Lankans, South American folks over here, and they put them in them plants out there for 6 months, and they work every day, okay, for 6 months. And then they go back home and do whatever they do and come back again. And also the amount of money that they pay those people is, I think there's a misconception about that too, We have a lot of these plants in this area and stuff like that. And, most of them, they hire people on $9, $10 an hour if they don't have any experience, right? And depending on their level of experience, if you're cutting up fish, filleting fish and stuff like that, there's a certain amount of skill to that, okay? And they pay people that do that kind of stuff decent money, okay? So, I don't think the truth about that. You see what happened over in Mississippi, right? They rounded up all the people they said was legal over there, and what happened to those plants over there, right? Did they go out of business because they couldn't get nobody to work there? No, not a one of them did. In fact, they staffed up. Maybe they had to pay a little more or something like that, but to my knowledge, they're all running, slaughtering chicken before all this happened, just like normal. But I think the truth about, food production and illegals working in the in certain businesses like that, that's been facilitated by the government. That's not something that they have against employers for. I'm not sure whether they find many people over there in Mississippi at those plants or not. But
well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Marcus. This is about the president doing what he did. Do you agree with it, or not when it comes to his ban on immigration coming in except for essential workers?
I think what he's done amounts to anything because he hasn't done nothing yet.
Well, his plans to do so, if that's what he plans to do so, is it beneficial or not?
I think that it is a good idea at the present time, but at the same time, he's going to backtrack and he's going to let them people come in here because basically that's who they've been letting come in here.
That's what I'm getting at. I mean, they've been doing it. We need to have them do it. Nobody else is going to do it, and if they don't do it, we're going to have a problem. But then you got people. You got his base freaking out because he's not doing 100%. Oh, we don't want anybody coming in. Well, come on, man. You got to cut some slack, and you got to be realistic. And being realistic is getting the fruit off the tree. And if we're not going to do it, people in this country aren't going to do it. We got to get somebody who can do it. And if we keep them out, we're going to have a problem. People can't see their nose despite their face. You know.
Okay, but say oranges down in Florida. Who do you think picks his oranges down in Florida? A bunch of illegals?
I really don't know who picks it in Florida.
No, and that's the truth, right? People have a misconception about what is reality, and a lot of that business is automated nowadays, Bob. It's not, you ain't got thousands of people out in the field picking them. Some product is, but big industrial farms and stuff like that, if they can replace people with a machine, they do. So most industrial farms, they're not employing thousands of people out there to harvest stuff. Yeah, they employ some, but it's not near the numbers that people think it is.
All right, Marcus, look, I got other callers on the line. I'm coming up to a break here, so I'm going to have to cut it. But I appreciate the call. Thanks for the insight. Let me get to Don from Lampasas. Don, how you doing? Thanks for calling. What's on your mind, buddy?
Or you'll just love. All the liberals in California are concerned about civil unrest with this pandemic, and so they're trying to go and buy a gun. They have been told for years by the fake news media that it's easier to buy a gun than it is a package of chewing gum. When they went into those gun stores, they got a real big dose of reality. All the hoops they jumped through, the waiting periods, and the same thing with ammo. And, gun dealers tell them, hey, this is what your politicians did to you. It's not our fault. We don't support this at all. And a lot of them are getting a real change in attitude about gun laws. I just see where that goes. It'd be kind of interesting.
Are they real? How quickly will they forget, though? I mean, that's the other problem Americans have. We forget quickly. And we're going to have...
That's true, but not if you're the one that has to really go through a hardship.
Yeah, but if you're the one going through the hardship, that may be one thing. But then you're going to have the people back in their positions of power, and they're going to play their stupid games, and the reality of it all is going to be forgotten. And those who really had the hardship are going to be screwed once again, from those who can't remember or forget or have no patriotism or compassion or duty to the Constitution and Bill of Rights. I mean, we're just chipping away at those two pillars, and they easily forget. Look at 911, for example. We were united for how long, and then we just went right back at it. It's the same thing with this. Yeah. We're united for a certain amount of time, and now we're sick and tired of it. We want to move on. I mean, people are going to forget.
You may be right, but at least some of these liberals out there are starting to see the other side of the story.
I hope that is the case. And Don, have you been shooting lately?
No, not too much.
Okay.
I'm in the process of moving, actually.
Well, we'd love to have you back at the shop, and we can do those round robin competitions. See how good you still are. Okay.
I know. I've got the rotator cuff injuries and this, that, and that. I'm just not the shot that I used to be.
Well, if that's the case, you're probably just still excellent then, because you were a very good shot back in the day. Yeah. All right, Don, I appreciate the call, man. Thanks for calling.
You bet. Bye.
All right, everybody, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I promise we'll have Nick Pearson from originally the UK, and we're going to talk to him. Nick, you all prepared and ready to go?
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll be back in just a few minutes. 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. See you on the other side. Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures. If you've decided to carry a handgun for self-defense, you better know what you're doing. If you don't, you better learn fast. Not only fast, but thoroughly. Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures fills the void between a Johnny wannabe and a person who has been properly trained in the proper handling and use of a firearm. Call me, Matt Betros, at 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com and set up a class or seminar to get you started on the road to proficiency with a firearm for self-defense. Go to our website, aaronsgunshop.com, and review the High Cap Adventures page. We have seminars to cover most forms of firearms training. Call 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com to get more information on how to get started with your training. The time for games is over. Reality starts now. aaronsgunshop.com.
Divorce attorney Ed Laughlin.
Is your marriage on the rocks? Have you been wanting to get a divorce but just haven't found an attorney that you can afford? Well, your search for an affordable attorney is finally over. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and I've been helping Texans get fast, inexpensive, hassle-free divorces for 25 years. I offer reasonable fees and always allow my clients to pay out their fees in payments that they can afford. Call me today at 773-8399 or toll-free 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment to get started. The first visit is always free.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed Laughlin today at 1-800-492-2589 or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589 or online at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589. Let Ed help you with all your legal needs. You'll feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad in Names and Numbers.
I spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain, sleet, and mud. In 95, I helped tow your moving trailer. In 05, I helped you get out of a ditch. Yeah, I know I'm a bit rusty, and sadly in 09, it was sparks from me, your handy chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Sparks from dragging chains can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
And welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation. Matt, your host here. It's April 22nd, 2020. I've got Bill Huffman with me, Colonel Rayford Brown, and I got Nick Pearson with me. Nick, it's a pleasure to have you here, buddy.
Thank you.
Nick is a friend of mine who has come to the gun shop, Aaron's Gun Shop in Cameron, and we talk guns and we talk politics. We talk
history,
all sorts of good things. If you want to be on the show and give commentary or question or ask Nick a question, how things are done on the other side of the pond, give me a call at 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. Stream us live at logicnation.us. Don't forget our social media at Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo at Logic Nation Radio, Twitter and Periscope at Logic Nation USA. So with that, Nick.
Yes.
Again, welcome to the program. And I asked you on because we were at the shop Friday.
Mm-hmm. Social distancing.
Social distancing. You see the numbers on the board. People have to take their cards. I got to have 6 feet and only so many people in the building, so I'm doing it right.
Yeah.
But in the course of you being there, we had a conversation, and we started talking about, why you came here.
Yeah.
What was the reason? And then we started talking gun laws and how you can get arrested for this, that, and the other. So why don't you start us off as to who you are and how you got here?
Oh,
and let's take it from there.
Absolutely. So, my name is Nick Pearson. I have lived in the US for about 3 years, came here in 2016. I came here on a family visa, so I didn't need to come here with my work. In fact, when I came here, I didn't have a job, but I got one pretty quick, working for the same people I've been working for many years anyway, but in the US instead of Britain.
Is that right there a major difference?
It's a different culture for working here. I guess the main thing is that at the moment there are a lot of people working from home, right, because of the current situation. I mean, I've been working from home all that time, and that is the general way my employer operates. We all work from home. We work remotely on IT projects and support. That's the business I'm in.
Okay. So when you got here and you see the cultural difference, what really is the cultural difference between two countries that speak the same language but we barely can understand each other?
Exactly, separated by a common language, right?
That's right.
So one thing I noticed, because before I lived here, I'd been coming here for quite a few years because of the family ties and so on, is that people are generally more friendly. You know, you'll meet somebody in the street, in a restaurant, you'll acknowledge each other, you'll say hi. Particularly in the country, here, more so in the country. Which
no,
is
I got to pause you right here. Is Texas the only place you've been?
It's the only place I've lived, yeah.
Okay, well, then I can understand why you're getting this impression.
Yes.
There's many other parts of the country where you go like, man, aren't they rude? But go ahead.
Do you mean there are other parts of the U.S. other than Texas?
Other than Texas? Well, there are, but they don't really count.
Okay. So. Texas and ain't Texas, right?
There you go.
Okay.
So continue on.
Other differences. So the cars are bigger. There's more space. The roads are bigger. The streets are bigger. In restaurants, we do a lot of tipping and so on, and that's not the case over there. I mean,
so you get paid.
The tips included over there.
I think the pay structure's kind of different. So sometimes you'll get charged service, but you're not obliged to pay it. And then, if you know more about the way these people are compensated, then you'll tip them if you're in a restaurant, even over there. But so a lot of people don't leave tips anyway.
Speaking of tips, I got a question. If you're ordering a pizza and you go pick it up, do you tip the people? Yeah. Do you tip the people at a pizzeria that you're picking up through the drive-thru?
I do. I sure do. They reopened Italianos, and I told my wife, I said, I want to patronize Italianos tonight.
I know, but pre-coronavirus, would you have done that?
Yeah, I did. I did there. Whenever I did picked up, I can't say I did it 100% of the time, but yeah, and it's not a big tip. Okay,
right.
So the 2 chef salads with double meat, double cheese comes to $21. I tip her $2 just to say thank you.
Just curious. Okay, Nick.
That's a good point. I mean, I wasn't doing that through the drive-thrus before coronavirus, but now it's kind of brought it forward, hasn't it?
Isn't it amazing the lovely lessons that we are learning?
Mm-hmm.
Turns out maybe a little adversity is not the worst thing in the world for us.
We can always learn from it.
We've had it too easy too long.
Now, Nick, besides
more differences. Okay, so
I want Bill to start building this up, getting closer to protection, and guns, and what happens. So you got this different culture and lifestyle.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what. Why don't you explain? Because you explained it quite nicely. Why the police over there and people aren't allowed to have guns? What was the reason for that?
Well, it was up around 1900 in Britain. It was perfectly legal to own a gun for self-defense. I believe you could even own full autos if there were any around at the beginning of the 19th century, which there were a few. But post-Russian Revolution, some legislation came in which prevented people from owning guns so easily. But I guess the lifestyle of most people at that time, your man in the street wouldn't have had the money to buy a gun anyway.
I know, but you made up a good point, though. You had the Russian Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
And so what they didn't want was a family being taken out by people who don't like what's going on in the government and can just wipe them out in one swoop, right?
Yeah.
And so they're saying, we don't want that to happen here, so take the guns away, right?
That was the intent behind the legislation, correct?
Okay.
So then steadily more legislation came in restricting ownership of guns. And then, in fact, even I think in the 1950s, some legislation came in which meant that you weren't allowed to carry any weapon for self-defense or any object, in fact, like carrying a hammer, a claw hammer for self-defense.
And look at how that's gone. Look at Paris. Okay? Paris, 0 guns, now 0 knives. The Muslim mayor of Paris says there is absolutely no excuse for a man to carry a knife. And if you're caught with any kind of a knife in your pocket in public, you will be prosecuted.
Do you mean Paris or London?
London has that too, but I'm pretty sure.
Was it London?
Yeah,
it may have been
what
London.
you're describing may fit Paris. I don't know, but it certainly fits London.
Oh, perhaps it was London, sir.
Yeah.
But yeah, he said you'll be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, which I always kind of offset with the prophetic words of Mad Dog Mattis, who said you should always carry a knife in case there's cheesecake or you need to cut somebody's throat.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
He had great sayings.
So Nick, how does the English people just succumb to that? How can't they? Who in their right mind would just say, okay? What ways were there to fight that coming down and saying nobody can have guns? Here you have people in the streets.
Well, it's a good point. I mean, how are you going to fight that? It's become the law. So if you're law abiding, you have to comply with it. Similarly, if I can give something from my own experience here, following a shooting, in fact, in a school in 1996, Dunblane is the name of the place. I don't know if anybody knows that here, but it's very well known in Britain. There was a lot of legislation removing handguns from sort of the legal side. So you were no longer able to own a handgun, even for shooting sports. So I got sent forms and letters and so on. I had to go to a police station in a place called Bridgend, which is in South Wales, and hand over my Ruger GP100 and my AMT hardballer. And if I didn't do that, then I'd have armed police round at my house. So then I can either have a shootout with them, which nobody's going to do in Britain.
Let's look at New Zealand, for example.
Yeah.
I forget what her name is. But because they had a school shooting down there, she makes the decision, we're going to take all the guns. You'll have this amount of time to turn it in. Because of one person's decision, you turn them in. What makes a person follow somebody like that? That sounds like you're drinking the Kool-Aid.
Well, New Zealand, they resisted.
I saw lines and lines of people. They may have resisted, but when it came down to the date that they had to turn them in, they were turning them in.
And the other thing that sort of assists them when they're doing this kind of exercise is that all guns were registered. So, the government knew about my pistols. It wasn't like I got some I could say, well, I lost them in a boating accident, that kind of thing. They were registered.
That's why we oppose registration. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening here in America, which I know you are, and you're thinking that registration is no big deal, registration leads to confiscation. Okay, so that's the way it is.
Sure
and I'll tell you what, you got registration now, whether you know it or not. When you go to purchase a gun at Academy or me or ANC Firearms or somebody like that, you got to fill out this pretty little form called a 4473. Gives me all the information about you. I got to store it for 20 years. And if for some reason they want the records, they can look at them and review it. So it's backdoor registration. So if we let it go any further, it gets worse. It's a slippery slope, Ron. We're going to take a break. Be back in a few minutes. See you on the other side.
DWI and criminal defense attorney Ed Laughlin.
Just because you or a loved one has been pulled over or arrested for DWI does not mean you're guilty of DWI. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and to be arrested and charged with DWI, the officer has to only have probable cause that you're intoxicated. It's only the officer's opinion. However, to be convicted of DWI, your guilt must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a much stricter burden. If you have been arrested for DWI or any other offense and want an attorney who will rigorously defend you, call me at 1-800-492-2589 or log on to my website at edlaughlin.com. Over the past 25 years as an attorney, I've been both a prosecutor and now a defense attorney. You need an experienced attorney who will work hard to get you the justice that you deserve.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed now at 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. First visit is always free. You're going to feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad and names and numbers.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work. Sorry, I'm late. Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working.
Who, me?
Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey.
Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm gonna take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation, April 22nd, 2020. Matt, your host here. I've got special guest Nick Pearson with me from the UK. He's over here. Well, Nick, you are from the UK, but now you are...
I'm from Texas now.
But
God
going
bless
to be
you.
an American citizen, are you applying for that?
Once I've been here long enough, yes, I can apply to be a citizen.
I told you the quickest way to do it is just go south and come back through the border. You'll be all right.
I know. I'm not very good at swimming, though. I'll be able to get across that river.
If you could show up pregnant.
That'd make some history,
Yeah.
right?
Hey, we got a major news flash. Joe Biden is currently in negotiations with Journey. Wants to use lovin', touchin', squeezin' as his campaign song.
All right. Okay, if you want to be on the show, give me a call, 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're a Second Amendment lover as well as all the other ones, and this would be a great opportunity to ask questions just to make yourself feel better and know for sure. I mean, we all know how blessed we are to be in this country, to have the rights that we have, and that's why we want to protect them so much. But when you hear it from somebody else who's been on the other side and tells you how it is, it gets to you by osmosis as compared to going to another country yourself and seeing it and go, oh my gosh, thank God I got an address back in the States, okay? So, Nick, with that, let's talk about guns. And America loves guns, whether they say so or not. And over there, I'm sure they love guns too, but they just can't get them. What's the deal with that? Or do they not like guns?
So I like guns. I like living in Texas, and I like having guns.
Well, now, how old are you?
I'm 60 this year.
60 this year, and they've had no guns in England for a longer than that.
Well,
so how do you get to love guns when you're so restricted from having guns? Is it the curiosity thing?
For me, it was a curiosity, yes. I've always been interested in history, and particularly military history. And so I wanted a way I could shoot military firearms. So I went, this was back in the 90s in Britain. The law is different now. But I went through the process then of actually acquiring a thing called a firearms certificate, which is what you need to be able to legally purchase a gun in Britain. In order to get a firearms certificate, even now, and it was the same then, you need to have a good reason. You need to be able to demonstrate a good reason for wanting that firearm. Even though you can't own pistols anymore, if you want to own a rifle, you have to state that you need it for pest control, or you want to be a member of a shooting club. If you're going to say you want it for pest control or just shooting game, then you need to have permission to shoot over a portion of land. So you've got to go through all those steps as well, even before you can apply.
So they know for sure, with very little doubt, that where the rifle will be and what its intended purposes is, and it's registered, and they know who owns it, and I'm sure it's got to be locked up too, right?
It's got to be locked up, correct, in a police-approved safe, which is fastened to a brick wall in your house, out of sight. And then the police will actually verify this. I mean, they come to your house more than once during that process, but part of the process is that they come to the house, they want to see your cabinet, they want to see it's got 5-lever locks, and probably even more stringent requirements than that now. And they'll try to pull it off the wall just to make sure you've put it on the wall correctly.
How many people in England do you think have firearms? And who are those people? Are they higher echelon?
It's tens of thousands now in terms of who've got rifles, because there's two kind of different streams. One's owning a rifle and one's owning a shotgun, and there's different qualifications for both.
And the type of rifles that they are, can they be like AR-15 type platforms, or it has to be a bolt action, 3-round mag, 22-inch barrel?
So certainly in terms of the barrel, there's a minimum length, correct? So there's no short-barreled rifles. You're not allowed to have a self-loading one in a caliber more than 22, or what we call 2.2 in Britain, oddly enough. So,
so only
22 long rifle will be the biggest caliber of self-loading rifle you're
Ladies and gentlemen, are you listening to this? You can go to Academy today and buy yourself an AR-15 30-round mag, 5.56, 7.62 by 39, 300 blackout. You can buy drums. You can buy suppressors. You can get quad rails. You can get all this kind of stuff. But in England, the only semi-auto you can get is a 22. And is there a round restriction on that?
I don't believe so, no.
So can I get like a 22 250?
No, it's got to be rimfire. So like a 10-22, like a Ruger 10-22.
Well, hell, you can't hurt anybody with a 22 caliber bullet. Everybody knows that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let me get Con on the line before we get to break. Con, thanks for calling. What's on your mind, buddy? Con, you're on the line. Thanks for calling. What's on your mind? Go ahead.
Well, I just want, since you're talking about England, where guns are not necessarily prohibited, but almost prohibited, I'd like to remind your listening audience of what happened in England in World War II. When the Nazis were invading countries in Europe and they were coming toward England, England had no way to defend themselves. That's why there was gun drives in America where farmers and ranchers and people donated guns to be sent to England so they could defend themselves.
Wasn't that Lend-Lease?
No, it was something different. It was a campaign for individuals to send their own firearms over.
Okay, so you got two. Well, you got the government, the United States government sent a whole bunch because they're starting to bring them back with British markings on them. So both the civilian population at first, I guess, and then we were helping them out later. Con, stay on the line. I'm going to take a 3-minute break. We'll continue on.
Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop auto shop, family owned and operated at 1402 North 3rd Street in Temple. Why go to another dealer? Quick Wrench Automotive, a full-service preventive maintenance and automotive repair center, offers a 2-year, 24,000-mile warranty on most repairs nationwide, which also includes complimentary roadside assistance. Quick Wrench also offers the best price for oil changes around at $17.95 plus tax, which includes 5 quarts of oil, new oil filter, washer fluid, and complimentary 23-point inspection. Other great deals are available on our Facebook page as well as our website, quickwrenchautomotive.com. Give us a call Monday through Friday at 254-935-2145 to speak with an ASE certified technician. Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop shop for all your automotive needs.
Here at the Logic Nation, we often encourage you to be logical. Now, I've got 2 more great words to live by. Get supplied. With Studio L as a center point, Smith Supply will provide you with everything to clean anything and deliver it on time within 150 miles. That means we can deliver cleaning supplies to any facility, any business, including hotels and motels, even industries and factories, anywhere in the Killeen, Temple, Fort Hood Metro, Waco, and Austin. No matter where you are, we can ship to your order. We also provide janitorial services and building maintenance in some areas, and our Temple showroom and our online catalog are open to the public. We're here to save you money and get your supplies to you on time, every time. So, get supplied. Since 1961, we're Smith Supply, 254-773-3592, and online at smithsupply.com.
Art Coons, the owner of ANC Firearms in Heidenhammer, Texas, is an avid gun enthusiast and enjoys helping all of his customers to find the gun that's perfect for them. With a large selection of pistols, rifles, and shotguns, finding the right gun becomes easy. Go to ANC Firearms, located at 5819 U.S. Highway 190 in Heidenhammer, or call them 254-983-4417. Pistols, rifles, shotguns, ammo, knives, and a whole lot more. ANC Firearms, 254-983-4417.
Bankruptcy attorney Ed Laughlin.
I really hate to see families suffer, especially when there's something they can do. If you have too many bills to pay, the truth is that filing bankruptcy may be the best thing you ever do. I'm not just saying it, let me prove it to you. That's why I offer a free initial consultation. Call me, because you shouldn't just have to sit there and worry.
Call 1-800-492-2589. The phone call is free and so is the appointment. You're going to feel a whole lot better.
Welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation, April 22nd, 2020. Matt, your host here, and I have special guest with me, Nick Pearson, formerly of the UK, still a UK citizen, I'm assuming.
Yes, sir.
And hopefully soon not to be, or you have dual citizenship?
I'll be going for dual.
Dual?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so while you're pulling the trigger in one country, you're restricted from pulling it in the other.
Yep, squeezing it, pulling it, whatever.
Okay, now I got Con on the line, too. Con, your mic is hot. Stand by. Now, Nick, we're talking about guns and how they're hard to get and how you use them. And Con, you were making the point that going back to World War II, why gun restrictions can be terrible because we had to send guns over to them. Is that correct? You know what you're saying?
That is correct. There was gun drives in the United States where people voluntarily gave their gun to be sent to England so they could defend themselves. Now, there's all kind of cases I'd like to recite, the latest of which is the shooting at the church close to Fort Worth in White Settlement. The man named Jack Wilson was armed. He ended the problem in 6 seconds because he was an armed civilian. Okay, compare that to the Sutherland Springs Baptist Church where a bad guy killed 26 people in the church because nobody there was armed and they couldn't defend themselves. Okay, when are we going to learn from the mistakes of history? The Nazi army in World War II never thought about invading America because everybody here had a gun and knew how to use it.
There's
So-
also Yamamoto.
Okay,
pointed that out.
let's look at Nova Scotia and Canada just last week. Strictest gun control in Canada, I guess. And a man just went to the streets and killed, 19 people or whatever. Would that have happened if some of the civilians had had a carry permit and stopped him, much like Jack Wilson did at White Settlement?
Well, now I got a question there, Con. This is really directed towards Nick. Isn't Nova Scotia under the Queen?
No, Canada's not. It's independent now.
Really?
Yeah.
Even Quebec?
Yeah. Oh, but Quebec's the French part anyway, so even more independent.
Independent.
Right?
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
New Zealand. What are the countries that are run by the Queen? You got New Zealand, Australia.
The Commonwealth, yeah,
Yeah.
those. That's probably it. It's a good question, but
Okay, so
a lot of people here know more about the British sort of side of things than I do. But,
But would it be correct to assume that if the rule applies in England, or would it apply in New Zealand, or is
no,
it
it's
independent? Okay.
they've got their own governments and parliaments and so on.
Okay, what I want to get across, though, this is where I'm really getting to with this. We had a great discussion in the gun shop, about what happens if you're caught with a firearm because of the restrictions, and then what you're able to do and not able to do, God forbid, if somebody breaks into your home in England. Nick, tell us about the process there. You can't have a firearm. What happens if you're found with a firearm or anything like that? And then what are you supposed to do to defend yourself?
Well, if you're caught with
I can remember here about a year ago when two Muslim people got a soldier, a military soldier, down in the middle of the street and cut his head off with machetes or whatever, and no one did anything because nobody was armed enough to do anything.
They probably took a video.
Yeah, they're just filming it on their phones, right?
Yeah. But Nick, I'm asking Nick here. Nick, what happens if you're found with a firearm illegally, or a cartridge or something, some type of paraphernalia like that?
Yeah, you get charged with possession of an illegal weapon. Even if you pick up if you're sort of using your metal detector on the beach and you find a cartridge, you've got to hand that in or dispose of it, because you can get charged with just possessing a cartridge.
And what kind of charge would that be in some cases?
I mean, you could have jail time out of that easily.
So jail time, and this you're talking about just digging up because World War II happened. You got the Britain there with aircraft across from Germany, guns, machine
we were talking
guns
about that, weren't we? Yeah.
And if you're digging up a machine gun from an old aircraft, you got to call it into the police.
You got to call the police straight away because it's a machine gun, even though it might be in the ground for 50 years and 70 years and rotted away.
And if you're in possession of it for some reason, for an antique, you could go to jail for having something like that. So we have the blessings. You see where it can go, ladies and gentlemen? If we allow our Second Amendment to be stripped like that, we can end up like England and have to go to a gun range if we have permission, or if we have to go hunt and we have a place to go lease to go hunt. We can have these restrictions on us as compared to just buying a firearm because you want to have it on your person for self-defense, or buying a firearm for your home so you can defend your home and family and property. You got to go through all these hoops over in England, whereas we don't do that here. That is why we were so adamant, stubborn, ferocious, attacking when somebody tries to devour the Second Amendment. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue on. See you in about 3 minutes.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain, sleet, and mud. In 95, I helped tow your moving trailer. In 05, I helped you get out of a ditch. Yeah, I know I'm a bit rusty, and sadly in 09, it was sparks from me, your handy chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Sparks from dragging chains can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Sweet strawberry icing. You were strolling along in Goodwill when just past that mid-century side table and denim jacket you spotted them, nestled in their display case. Miniature donut earrings. Oh, yes! Yes! Your favorite half-breakfast pastry, half-all-day dessert food, made into your favorite form of ear candy. Oh my. Those bejeweled sprinkles have satisfied some unknown hunger within you. Shh, do you smell that? That's the sugary scent of shopping success. For this is Goodwill. And with every item you buy, you fund local job training and more. So go forth. Bring home those donut earrings. And bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation, April 22nd, 2020. Matt, your host here. I've got Bill Huffman with me, the Colonel Rayford Brown. Shane is in the background there somewhere. Shane, hello to you. And I've got my special guest here, Nick Pearson of the UK, here in the United States, going for his citizenship. And we were talking guns and restrictions and the comparisons between the two countries. And there's one big thing I really want to talk about. And that is, with all those restrictions, Nick, over there, how does one protect themselves, their loved ones, their property, with all these restrictions? Every time I hear of a situation, it seems no matter what you do, you're in trouble for protecting yourself. Can you give me the mindset? Can you tell me what you could do? How do you get around and not go into jail? Go ahead.
Yes, so how do you defend yourself? That's a good question. The law says your response has to be proportionate. So if somebody comes into your house and you're in fear of your life, then your response to them should be proportionate.
What if the person's coming in who's a crook and doesn't care about the laws and has a gun? Can't your proportionate response be a gun?
Well, no, because you're not going to have a gun if you're a law-abiding citizen. So you're going to be stuck with anything that comes to hand. I mean, over here it's a baseball bat. Over there it'd be a cricket bat, right? But there are a couple of cases which were high profile, which I recall. One is a guy called Tony Martin 20 years ago, who's a farmer. He had a house full of stuff that was desirable to burglars, and I think he was getting burgled quite often. So one night when some burglars came into his house, he shot them with a pump-action shotgun, and one of them actually died, and he went to jail over that. He got out of jail after a few years, but it was a very high-profile case, and opinion is still mixed about how proportionate his response was to those burglars.
How do people in position of power, I can't believe all of the people that hold positions of power are really worried about the lower people having guns. There's got to be some people there who say, yeah, that sounds right. He should have been able to defend himself. How can these people convict people who defend themselves? This guy must have had a shotgun because he could have gone hunting, or he's in a club, he just happened to have it there and he was able to protect his property. How can somebody say, if that was me, I would have done the same thing? How can they put this guy in jail? What is their mindset, their thought process?
Again, you're up against the letter of the law. I mean, like there are lots and lots of laws restricting weapons on this side of the water, similarly on the other side.
But on this side, you got a jury, and sometimes you can get the jury and say, that ain't right, man. And they can overturn whatever it is the judge is putting out there, and they can say, no, I totally get where the guy's coming from. I totally get that he shot this guy because he's stealing his property, breaking in the middle of the night. I don't understand how people can be so callous or so cold or so lack of compassion when it comes to somebody, a fellow human being who's being robbed, hurt, endangered, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's still, you still get tried by a jury over there because I think our legal systems came from the same root. So, you're tried by 12. So it's still a jury system. But that's the way the case came out. I mean, it was kind of a one lawyer against another, maybe.
Okay, so if you were a first-time Englander, okay, Brit,
right,
coming over here to this country,
yeah,
and you saw the way the gun laws are here and the way everything else is, the way it's very free out here, do you get overwhelmed with, oh my gosh, I can't believe this? Or is it like, oh, it's no big deal, a couple minor differences? But when you come from a different country,
yeah,
from Europe, and you come into the United States and you're staying for a while, do you realize, oh my gosh, they got it going on?
I mean, I don't forget I was already kind of interested in guns when I came here. So, I kind of knew I could go to a shooting range, hire a rental gun, and go shooting.
So you were a troubled youth with deviant drives, according to the Crown. Is that right?
Oh yes. If we have this saying, don't we? If it pleased the Crown, which it obviously didn't.
Thank God, you criminal, you came to Texas.
That's another question.
We welcome you.
That's another question I've got. How can so many people submit themselves to one person? Is it brought up from upbringing? What is it? Because I'm like, you are no better than me. You put your pants on the same way I do. You do the same things I do. We got the same 24 hours in a day. What makes you so bad? I'll put you in position because I think you're the best man for the job. But just because you're sitting there, I don't get how people can submit to that. What's the ideology behind it all?
What do you mean the way the royal family and all the royal families came to power? You mean?
They probably came to power by the tip of a sword.
Exactly. I mean, we've all watched Game of Thrones, haven't we? So it's the same idea.
Okay, we're going to take a top of the hour break. Nick, stand by. Nick will be with us if you want to give us a call, have any questions on that. We're going to continue on with some other topics. 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. Don't forget to stream us live at logicnation.us. And the social media is at Facebook, YouTube, and Vimeo at Logic Nation Radio. Twitter and Periscope at Logic Nation USA. Be back in 5 or 6 minutes. See you on the other side.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have anybody to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
Hey, y'all, Jeff Foxworthy here. Now, if you've ever found yourself repeating the same thing over and over for 75 years, you might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
That's why I'm filling in for Smokey to switch things up, because there's a lot more to say. And I should know because my grandfather was a firefighter. And one of the things he taught me is that the people that love the outdoors the most are often the ones accidentally starting wildfires, which means always BYOB. No, bring your own bucket to the campfire. And be extra careful with things like burning yard trimmings. Don't just walk away, or chances are you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Ain't gonna take none of yours put me down. I put a spell on you because you're mine.
girlfriends walk, the way they talk, the way they touch their hair. We hold details that only a sister can know about her girls. But what about our other girls? The ones that we carry with us every day. Can we describe them when everything's right? Can we feel when something's wrong? Our bond with our sister girls gives life. But knowing your breasts can save it. Go to knowyourgirls.org for the facts you need on breast health. That's knowyourgirls.org. Brought to you by Susan G. Coleman and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation, April 22nd, 2020. Matt, your host here. Give me a call, 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Listen up. I am very passionate. I'm not emotional. I'm passionate. Don't mix it up with emotion. It's because I'll look at a situation, I'll study a situation, I know a situation, I believe a situation, and so when I get all my facts straight, lined up, and I'm convinced at this point in time, and unless future information comes into play that change my attitude, I'm passionate about my decisions. One of these hot buttons for me is discernment. The ability to discern a situation. The ability to say, normally we do it this way, but in this situation, we have to change it a little bit. I've got an article here. Costco manager refuses to let single mom with 2 kids shop for groceries due to the new coronavirus policy that Costco has here in Texas. And I'm going to read this article. I was going to play the clip, but there's too many profanities in it. So I'll just read through the clip. It's a short clip. A single mom filmed herself arguing with a Costco manager in Texas who refused to let her in a store to shop for groceries due to the new coronavirus policy. After being stopped attempting to walk into a Costco in Lubbock with her 2 daughters, the irate woman begins filming at the entrance of the wholesale store as she waits for a manager. Now, the manager says she can't let the woman in with her 2 daughters due to the new policy restricting customers from shopping in groups of more than 2 per membership. The woman says, "This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. Across the country, this is ridiculous that I am a single mom and not able to go grocery shopping, nor am I able to get a babysitter," the woman says. Stepping out into the parking lot, the woman begins yelling at other customers that their rights are being taken away. This is your country. Your rights are being taken away from you. Everyone, all of your effing rights are being stripped. Do something. Your government is taking all of your rights, all of them, and you're doing nothing about it. They don't let single moms go grocery shopping with their kids. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a pure case of lack of discernment. In the state that we are in this totally ridiculous state of lockdown that we're in now, it wasn't at the time, but it is now. This is ridiculous. A woman-on-woman conversation. The compassion there is saying we are living in trying times at the moment. People are hurting for money. Since they're hurting for money, how's this mom going to have money for a babysitter? It's 2 children in a basket going to buy some groceries, and the woman kicks her out. What the hell is up with that?
And you can't even use your relatives or in-laws because they're being socially isolated. Another single mother case, she couldn't use her in-laws for babysitters.
Discernment. And that goes with law enforcement as well. And that goes with the public as well. There's discernment. A law enforcement officer comes up and is being a real hard rear end, where there could have been that buffer zone. If you're streaming this live, once again, I put up the sheet. When it comes to reality versus fear, there's a buffer zone on either side of common sense. We have totally eliminated the zone of common sense. There are times when an officer can just say, "Hey, don't do that." Then there's times when the person being stopped by the officer says, yes, sir, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. There's times when you need to do that. Stop being such a hard rear end about everything in every direction. You got to see the compassion side of it. That's not emotional. That's passionate about being compassionate. You got a comment, sir? No. Okay. Give me a call, 866-89-LOGIC. The reason I brought the police officers is because we had an officer here. Where was it at? Let's see. A police officer was caught on camera saying he would make something up in order to arrest a man during the coronavirus lockdown, has been suspended from the force. The clip shows officers confronting a group of men in some town who were using a quad bike outdoors in an apparent violation of the COVID-19 stay-at-home measures. Although the lockdown is supposed to be enforced by fines and not arrest, one of the young men complains about being arrested, telling the officer, "You arrested me? What for? I've done nothing wrong." The police officer who made the threat has now been suspended after the clip went viral on social media.
Man, that is sad that you put that kind of pressure on a law enforcement officer, that he feels like to do his duty, to take care of the people, he has to do what's best for you, whether you think so or not, whether it's legal or not.
But he'll make something up to
Yeah,
arrest
yeah.
you. Now, look, you all know out there that I'm pro-law enforcement. I have many friends who are law enforcement. I've got sheriffs who I talk to and I have high respect, so on and so forth, et cetera, et cetera. In every group of people, there's bad apples that make them look bad. Those bad apples need to be picked and thrown away.
Matt, the difference is we're talking about laws versus regulations. If you break a law, you are innocent until proven guilty. If you are found to be in an infraction of a regulation, you're guilty, dude. You want to go to court and fight about the fact that maybe you're innocent, you can, but you're guilty. And that's what's happening with these regulations, these emergency powers that are being passed. That's why they're emergency powers, because this ain't safe. This ain't the way to do business. This ain't how America runs.
Do me a favor. Look, since you got your computer there, pull up the definition of discernment. I want the people to hear what the definition of discernment is.
I bet he's got
that. I'm sure you already know what the definition is, but I want to read it from Webster or somebody of authority that what the word discernment is, so there's no misconception. It's basically common sense, ladies and gentlemen. That's basically what it is. You see a situation, you go, it's supposed to be done this way, but in this particular case, we need to adjust it a little bit because there's certain parameters or certain factors or conditions that have adjusted it or altered it. So discernment, there's a lack of it all over the place. And here's another case of discernment. I got my friend here, Nick Pearson.
Okay, here's your definition.
Go ahead. The
act or process of exhibiting keen insight and good judgment. Keenness of insight and judgment.
In judgment. What they were lacking of on this situation. And here we got 2 men arrested in the UK for posting a sign that reads, "Pubs closed, borders open." How can you get arrested for that, Nick? Let me read the story and tell me what's going on here. 2 men were arrested on charges of racially aggravated offenses after they posted those stickers. How the heck does that happen? How is that racially aggravated?
I think there's more to that than sort of you're seeing in that report. I mean, maybe they'd been doing some other stuff and this was the last straw. I don't really know about that case. But you can get into trouble over there for posting stuff on Twitter, Facebook, etc. very easily.
So there's no freedom of speech?
Correct.
Okay, so we have a restriction on firearms and we have restriction on speech. What other restrictions do we have? They can check your papers if they want?
No, you're not. Even when you're driving a car over there, the police stop you, you're not obliged to carry your driving license on you.
I don't get it, man. One thing over here, you gotta have your papers.
Well, yeah.
But you can carry a gun.
And going back to the firearms certificate, you don't get fingerprinted.
I guess you don't have to because they know where the gun is. It's locked in the safe, bolted to the wall. And
I just find it odd, having gone through the background check process over here, that,
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back on the other side. Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures. If you've decided to carry a handgun for self-defense, you better know what you're doing. If you don't, you better learn fast. Not only fast, but thoroughly. Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures fills the void between a Johnny wannabe and a person who has been properly trained in the proper handling and use of a firearm. Call me, Matt Betros, at 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com and set up a class or seminar to get you started on the road to proficiency with a firearm for self-defense. Go to our website, aaronsgunshop.com, and review the High Cap Adventures page. We have seminars to cover most forms of firearms training. Call 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com to get more information on how to get started with your training. The time for games is over. Reality starts now. aaronsgunshop.com.
Divorce attorney Ed Laughlin.
Is your marriage on the rocks? Have you been wanting to get a divorce but just haven't found an attorney that you can afford? Well, your search for an affordable attorney is finally over. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and I've been helping Texans get fast, inexpensive, hassle-free divorces for 25 years. I offer reasonable fees and always allow my clients to pay out their fees in payments that they can afford. Call me today at 773-8399 or toll-free 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment to get started. The first visit is always free.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed Laughlin today at 1-800-492-2589 or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589 or online at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589. Let Ed help you with all your legal needs. You'll feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad in Names and Numbers.
Sweet strawberry icing. You were strolling along in Goodwill when just past that mid-century side table and denim jacket you spotted them, nestled in their display case. Miniature donut earrings. Oh, yes! Yes! Your favorite half-breakfast pastry, half-all-day dessert food, made into your favorite form of ear candy. Oh my. Those bejeweled sprinkles have satisfied some unknown hunger within you. Shh, do you smell that? That's the sugary scent of shopping success. For this is Goodwill. And with every item you buy, you fund local job training and more. So go forth. Bring home those donut earrings. And bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation, April 22nd, 2020. Matt, your host here. I got Shane Currington with me, Bill Huffman, the Colonel, Rayford Brown, Nick Pearson. The Colonel's going to be at the bottom of the hour talking Constitution, so stand by. Get your note-taking material ready on that. I was talking about discernment. Connecticut police testing highly invasive drones to enforce social distancing. This isn't really discernment. This is more like a nanny state. Westport, Connecticut police are going to be testing pandemic drone that monitors citizens' temperature from almost 200 feet away and detects sneezing and coughing, as well as heart and breathing rates. What?
Oh, it's even better than that. These drones are Chinese. They were sold to law enforcement and political groups almost at a loss. And, of course, there is no way that these drones are sharing that information back to the Chinese communists, right?
The pandemic drone will be equipped with a specialized sensor and computer vision systems that can display fever, temperature, heart, and respiratory rates, as well as detect people sneezing and coughing in crowds and whatever groups of people may work or congregate. The technology can accurately detect infectious conditions from distances of 190 feet, as well as measure social distancing for proactive public safety practices. Ladies and gentlemen, that's fantastic.
Oh,
but
that's
you
wonderful.
can cram it up your fourth point of contact.
But can we arm it with a taser too, so it can just arbitrate?
That's
or
coming,
maybe
Bill.
a little focused EMP. Hey, that guy's got a pacemaker. He's standing too close to that kid. Turn him
Look,
off.
it's just like in military equipment. You make it, sooner or later it's going to be used.
Of course
we
it
haven't
is.
used the atomic or nuclear weapon since Japan, but it was made and it was used.
Yeah, how long after it was made was it used? You know, when we dropped the first one, we knew it was going to go boom. We just didn't know if it was going to stop because we had never made one quite that big.
So if you got your drones with all your sensors on it, where does it go from there? Now, here's another one. I've got, this is funny. Oh, you know that article I was looking for? Here it is. Yeah, I've already done it. But trolls flood Bill de Blasio's coronavirus snitch line. Remember last week I was talking about the snitch line? You call up and you say, hey, these people aren't doing what they're supposed to do. Wah. Well, the snitch line has been flooded with, Bill, how can I say this in a proper, delicate?
Oh, no. This is proper language as long as you don't slang it.
Okay, go ahead. Help
me
out.
So we can say that the Mayor de Blasio has complained that he has received a plethora of photographs. The two common themes seem to be Adolf Hitler and penises.
Technical term.
So apparently people are not understanding social distancing, or maybe they're using the wrong measurement.
No, you know what this is telling us? This is telling us the people have met their limit. The people are at their limit. You need to open up this country. Governor Abbott.
That's not what it's telling de Blasio.
Governor Abbott, open the floodgates. People in charge of counties and whoever has the power or authority, you need to open up the floodgates. We're at that point in time. This is ridiculous. Look at the numbers. Look at the curves, the maximum curve, the minimum curve. We haven't even met the minimum curve yet. This is ridiculous. This is coronavirus theater. This is paranoia over something that does not exist. Coronavirus does exist, but the pandemic of it all doesn't. The numbers prove it.
But Matt, what you've got to talk about is that might be the message to our governor. Our governor is freedom-based, but the message to a socialism-based governor, like de Blasio, like Cuomo, like any of those guys, the message is time to turn the damned heat up because the peasants are revolting and we got to put the thumb on them and show them who's who.
Bill, I am freedom-based, but from time to time, I need adjustment from a little bit more hardcore people to snap me out of the compassionate element, the concerned element. Okay, so I am one of those freedom-loving people, but I'm the one who wants to make sure I'm not making an instantaneous decision. I want to get my information, but you can only get so much information, and then you got to make a decision.
Well, please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste. I've been around for long, long years. Saw many a man go to waste.
You're not him. Okay.
No, but I'm his advocate sometimes, aren't I? You try and get too nice, and I drag you back to Realville and say, no.
Governor Abbott and all those who in positions of authority, in your host's humble opinion, need to open up the floodgates. Keep your mask, keep your 6 feet, and wash your hands and get back to work. Okay? It's time. It is time. That is my opinion.
And if you're delicate, stay inside.
If you have an underlying condition, if you're older age, we shouldn't be restricting the people who are making the money and working. And I don't say that in a derogatory manner. I say that in a manner of necessity. We need to get back to work. And those of you who are a little bit more susceptible need to protect yourself doubly. We will do our part, stay away from you, but do your part and try to isolate yourself.
Dude, that's me. I'm part of that compromised group. So let's just all have a nice big drink of freedom, okay? If you're young and you're healthy and you need to get out there and go to work, do it. Don't be angry at me if you see me day after tomorrow wearing a mask at the grocery store, or you don't see me as much as you'd like to, because I'm hiding out for a little while. I'm that at-risk population, and you know what? I ain't ready to be done yet. So I want to last a little bit longer, and if this is how I think I need to do it, this is how I'm going to do it. Here's a wild concept. You do you, I'll do me. Okay?
I'm trying to pull up a video, an audio of Don Lemon. It's taken forever to do so. And, okay, if I can get this to play. I talked to you last week about Chris Cuomo and how he was in an interview And the front man of CNN is basically saying, I'm tired, man. I'm cooked.
Yeah, the Kool-Aid's not working anymore.
Stick the fork in me. I'm
Poor
done.
guy.
I just can't promote these people's crazy agendas. I got a life, blah, blah, blah. I'm looking at a screenshot right now of Don Lemon on one side and Chris Cuomo on the other side. And through the conversation of Don Lemon, you're seeing Chris Cuomo with this look on like he wants to say, shut the F up.
Yeah, it's
I'm
supposed
tired
to
of
be
this,
the
man.
typical head nodding in agreement, arched eyebrows. I'm with you, home skillet. But this is like, okay, he said this was going to be 30 seconds.
Now, Don Lemon
15.
asks, who the hell does he think we are? I'll tell you who the hell I am, pal. I'm an American patriot, and I'm going to protect the rights, and I'm going to do it and show my freedoms and do whatever freedoms I can when I want to in non-violation of the law. So that's who I am. So when you start talking your crap, that's the answer I'm going to give back to you, as many thousands and millions of other Americans do too. So hopefully when I click play, it's going to play. Here we go. Give it a second to buffer up. Here we go.
I understand that you're hurting. I understand that people are hurting. Yes, a lot of people are hurting. But there are people who are frontline workers who have to get out there. I did the color of COVID this weekend. Those people are at the grocery stores who didn't expect to have their lives be placed in danger because they have to work at the grocery store. They're driving buses, and you're protesting against. You're slapping the faces of the people who are the healthcare workers who put their lives on the line every day because you want a haircut, you want to go play golf. You're concerned about. Of course, you're concerned about your business. Tell the president that. And you're out there with guns, with weapons strapped to your chest, saying, "Oh, you want to get you're fighting against the people who are telling you to stay at home, trying to save your lives. You're upset with those people. In the meantime, there are people who are keeping your cities going, keeping your loved ones alive, and you want to get a haircut? Who the hell do you think you are? What is wrong with people? I don't understand what is wrong with people. Stay at home. Yeah, you have the right to protest. You have the right to protest. Everyone does.
Got the right to bear arms, too.
Criticized for this. And guess what? You have the right to criticize me. But I don't want to hear from those people who are out there protesting with guns, right? And that is threatening, a threatening look for people. You're protesting with guns. Don't criticize people who are taking a knee at a ball game, an entertainment thing. Say, I don't want people protesting at a ball game. When people who are peacefully protest, don't give me that. When you're out there protesting with guns and saying, I want to get back to work, I want my liberty, well, then you should be out there standing up for people who are, and I want to hear the same argument. Go out there and help people who are protesting against their government as well for the treatment of their government as well. So I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Don't be a hypocrite. Stand up for those people as well.
Okay, there you go. What do you think about that? I think Don Lemon worried about his guns. The reason people are out there with their guns is because you're threatening rights. And we're saying, look, you see the Second Amendment right? We got that too. We're not giving that up. We're not giving freedom of speech. We're not giving freedom of grouping together. These are the rights that we got. This coronavirus thing has gone past its due date. Go ahead.
Do we get tired of having to remind people that the purpose of the Second Amendment is to defend the First?
That's right. The Second Amendment defends all the rest. Look, I got to take a break. We're going to take a break for 3 minutes. And then I got the Colonel. After the Colonel, we're going to read some of our responses from our poll from the other day about should we open it up or not. So we'll be back in 3 minutes here on the other side.
DWI and criminal defense attorney Ed Laughlin.
Just because you or a loved one has been pulled over or arrested for DWI does not mean you're guilty of DWI. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and to be arrested and charged with DWI, the officer has to only have probable cause that you're intoxicated. It's only the officer's opinion. However, to be convicted of DWI, your guilt must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a much stricter burden. If you have been arrested for DWI or any other offense and want an attorney who will rigorously defend you, call me at 1-800-492-2589 or log on to my website at edlaughlin.com. Over the past 25 years as an attorney, I've been both a prosecutor and now a defense attorney. You need an experienced attorney who will work hard to get you the justice that you deserve.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed now at 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. First visit is always free. You're going to feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad and names and numbers.
One in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3?
BYOB. No, bring your own bucket to the campfire. And be extra careful with things like burning yard trimmings. Don't just walk away, or chances are you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council. Hey y'all, Jeff Foxworthy here. Now, if you've ever found yourself repeating the same thing over and over for 75 years, you might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
That's why I'm filling in for Smokey to switch things up, because there's a lot more to say. And I should know because my grandfather was a firefighter. And one of the things he taught me is that the people that love the outdoors the most are often the ones accidentally starting wildfires, which means always BYOB. No, bring your own bucket to the campfire. And be